Do not adjust your sets or computer monitors. This video is all about sound, because it's time for us to start thinking about writing radio advertisements. And we don't see anything when we're listening to radio advertisements, do we? So although we're completely accustomed to seeing visually on computer, on our phones, on our televisions, we're just absolutely surrounded by visual feedback, visual stimuli. In radio, it's all about the sounds. Here, let me get your picture. Thank you, Taylor Swift, Bradley Cooper, getting their pictures. Now, students, get out your pens and your notebooks and take some notes. Oh, that's terrible. Those notes are terrible. Rip that up. Awful. That's the worst writing I've ever seen. But that's not a drop in the bucket compared to the other kinds of sounds that you might have in a radio ad. Don't forget to use your mouse. Or maybe we will use an old-fashioned typewriter or teletype machine. You probably don't even know what that is, but get your keys out and get in your house. Open the door, because we are going to, oh, no, wait a minute. What's that? Could that be a rattlesnake? Or is it just someone walking through the snow? I hope they make a snow angel. But they need to just zip it up. Zip it. Or maybe they need to tape it up with some duct tape. The good old sound of duct tape tearing. Because you know, that fixes everything, doesn't it? Watch out, there's some sick ducks. Ducks, duct tape, get it? But get your staplers ready. We're going to staple some papers together, just like a good teacher would do. And get your money out. Maybe that's popcorn popping. Is that popcorn popping? So does that give you some ideas about your radio advertisements and how important sound is? Sound is the most important element in radio advertisements because we don't have the luxury of using visuals. So you're going to have to think auditorily, not visually, for radio advertising. That's pretty difficult. Your temptation is going to be to just have people conversing in your radio ads. Let's see if I've got myself together here. But no. Yes, you can have voices, obviously. That's fine. And sometimes that's important. And generally you'll have an announcer that will either open up the advertisement or close the advertisement with some kind of call to action or some kind of statement. But you don't always just have to have two people talking or one person talking in an advertisement. Maybe your ad is going to be mostly sounds, differing kinds of sounds, whether it be a rattling sound of someone rattling around looking for something or ripping something. Maybe that was a balloon popping. Maybe you'll have balloon sounds or helium squealing out of the balloon. Or maybe that rattlesnake will come back and scare someone. Oh, help! Rattlesnake, kill it! But as maybe you've discerned, sound is so important in these radio ads, and creativity too. Don't write your radio ads just as everyone else has. Have them grab attention, just like you want with a headline or just like you want with a slogan. Grabbing the attention with something that's unique and fresh is really crucial to a good radio ad. The format for a radio ad is very simple. Very, very simple. And I'll post that on D2L, obviously, the form. Another thing that's extremely important in a radio ad is to time your ad, to know what time you have allotted. Is it a 15-second ad? Is it a 30-second ad? Is it a minute ad, which would be really unusual and very expensive, or a lot more expensive? But get your phone app out for your stopwatch and time your advertisement so that you have it down to the second, because they have to have it down to the second. Now, one radio announcer will read faster than another radio announcer, and you can certainly speed up your talking a little bit so that you can read a radio announcement faster than you would normally actually say it. But you have to be careful, because you don't want to cram too much in there and have someone talking so fast that you can't even understand what they're saying. There's one of these radio ads that's all about all the disclaimer information on one of their a sweepstakes or something like that, and they're talking so fast that you can't even understand what they're saying. You don't want people to be so baffled by what they're saying because they can't understand it that they pay attention. It's important that they understand the words, because the words and the sounds are so important in a radio ad. So I've put the format on D2L for you. You want to be sure that you adhere to that format, because that's what folks in radio media are looking for. They want a certain format. When I write a PSA, a public service announcement, I time those out to make sure that they are either 15 seconds if I possibly can, sometimes 30 seconds, but that's really too much to ask for free. When you're paying for advertising, that's different. But you want it all in caps. For those folks, a PSA is always typed all in caps, because that's how radio media members actually want their text or their copy. You want to be sure that you designate sound effects separately on a separate line in your radio ads. That would be SFX. And then your announcer, you'll designate specifically as the speaker. And then maybe you'll have a child, or you'll have a mother, or you'll have a race car driver, or you'll have a duck. Maybe the duck's talking like Aflac. But you want to be sure that you follow the proper format and that you keep it within the time allotted. So keep your stopwatch handy and keep your brain clicking. You must have that brain clicking along. With ideas for what sound effect would make sense in this commercial for the Natural History Museum, where they have red pandas that are actually a fox-like creature. What kind of sound does that make? Are we going to have a dinosaur sound? The T-Rex sound. You can't have the T-Rex picture, but you can have the T-Rex sound. Or maybe the duck. Or maybe some duct tape. But what sound would get people's attention? What sound would make sense with this particular message that we're trying to get across? What sound would be unusual in this situation, but be clever or be unified and cohesive with this particular radio advertisement? So think sound. But you just close your eyes and think, what kind of sound would make sense for this? And maybe the sounds will be the first thing that come to your mind, and the text, the copy, comes next as you're thinking about your particular message that you've chosen in your creative brief to actually act out or sound out in your radio advertisement. So, hopefully this has gotten your brain working and you're not too afraid of rattlesnakes or of typewriters or of someone strange. Knocking at your door. You may have to take your stapler to them or poke them in the eye with a key. Don't do that. And don't say your teacher said that that was okay. But think about it. Maybe you'll have the cavalry come in and save you. Whoa! But if you have questions, you can always ask me. Just give me a ring on the old cell phone. A little ding-a-ling on the cell phone. Oh, I've got a bell here somewhere. It's hiding. Oh, give me a call. 1 ringy-dingy. 2 ringy-dingies. Remember, sound. Sound is what matters in radio. Radio, radio.